I'm sharing with you another example of how gig apps presume us drivers as guilty. If this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, if you're a returning visitor of the Gig Geezer, thanks for coming by. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. This section of the Gig Geezer originates from earlier this week, Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. And what happened was I had returned into Colombia, having completed a last mile gig delivery opportunity, and I decided to turn on the gig food delivery apps, looking for an opportunity or two to round out the money that I might earn that day. And so the opportunity came on Uber Eats, and it was a pickup over in the northwest part of the town. And the drop-off location was to an apartment community about 5-6 minutes away. And so I had to wait for about 15 minutes for the order. I was not bummed out or pissed off about that. So what I did was I usually what I'll do is try to confirm the address by checking what part of town that it might go to. But on Uber Eats, you're given like an approximation of the cross streets. And so initially it showed a cross street over about 5-6 minutes away, as I mentioned. But the actual address shown on the app at the top of the screen was one that was like 20-25 minutes away in another zip code. But in order for you to be recognized by the Uber Eats app, having arrived at a restaurant or at a drop-off location, you need to go to what's the marking pin that gives the approximation of the address. Now, not surprisingly, this order had me to meet the customer at the door with the order. And so when I get to the apartment complex and to the approximate place, I then realized that, hey, something isn't right. The actual pin location from the app and the actual address as noted on the screen did not match at all. As I mentioned, the pickup location and at least according to the app, the drop-off location was on the northwest part of town. The address shown at the top of the app page was on the east part of town in another zip code. So I figured then what I need to do is contact the customer. Sometimes you have that situation where you need to contact the customer to confirm where you need to meet them. Upon speaking with the customer had a very short conversation with me and hung up. So now I'm thinking that I might be in a fraudulent situation. And so I went into the Uber Eats app with intentions of contacting support. Well, what I've noticed in recent months is that you must deal with the bot first. And so the bot gives potential replies. And then ultimately, if that isn't enough, then as a last resort, you're given the option to contact support by phone. And so in speaking with Uber Eats support, they asked if they can get back in contact with me in about 3 to 5 minutes. And then they shared with me that they also attempted speaking to the customer, at least as indicated by the phone linked to that order. And that person had a short conversation with them and hung up on them. So as of right now, I've not really intrigued you any, but just bear with me a little while longer. So the customer service, the driver support person said, okay, we will now cancel the order. First thing, I strongly recommend that you do speak with the driver support as the app allows. And what I mean by that, there are some apps in which you can only contact them by text message or within the app. But if there's an app that allows you to call them, because then they are obligated to document the conversation or interaction that you've had with them. So About a day later, I get 2 friendly, well-written emails from Uber Eats telling me that you have canceled 1 or more recent trips after picking up the order. And then it offered a couple of recommendations. The first one, trouble finding location? The app can help verify that the delivery address is correct. The second recommendation, if customer selected meet at door, consider trying to find the delivery address for handoff. Then the app went on to say, attempting delivery orders without intending to complete the delivery may violate your agreement with Uber and may, if applicable in your country, result in deactivation from your app. The other thing that the message went on to say is my account remained active for now, and that I am still eligible to receive orders. Now, speaking from an extensive writing background, words talk to me, and I see words a little differently than a lot of people. What this friendly, well-written email inferred to me or implied was that I had every intention of stealing an order. In other words, while this message may have been generated automatically by the app, it's generated with a tone of that, okay, we're cutting you slack this time, but next time may result in your deactivation if this trend or habit persists. So it is then presuming that you are guilty, while the customer, who likely to have committed some form of fraud, went about with impunity. Now, this is not what I'm sharing is nothing new. I'm probably preaching to a large choir in this audience, but that does not give these apps really free rein to presume us drivers as always guilty of things. And that's really the intent of this segment of the Gig Geezer, is to bring to your attention that while these apps say certain things, they say one thing, but they mean another thing. And in this particular case, while they may have given me a friendly friendly appraisal of things, it was done with the presumption of my guilt. And so with that, this is yet another segment of the Gig Geezer. Hopefully you got something out of it. And if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.